This is Mark Livesey, and you're listening to The Gritty Bowman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Someone tell me where the Humane Society of the United States has ever bought 1 acre of habitat, where they have ever funded one project that got rid of invasive weed species, where they've ever funded one project that got rid of the Asian carp in the Illinois River. I mean,
none of it.
Pick whatever it is. They've got net assets in the hundreds of millions, and they've never done anything.
I did this whole series of posts of the hierarchy of dead animals on Instagram, on social media. So I had like a picture of chicken. No one cares. Like dead, chicken meat. A picture of chicken. A picture of fish, like cut up fish. No one cares. A picture of an actual fish. Still, no one seems to give a picture of a dead turkey. No one seemed to care. It seemed like But then I showed bear meat. And I showed some bear meat that was just in a bag. What about that? And I'm like, now we're getting weird, right? Well, it's just meat, but it says bear on it. This is bear meat.
Yeah.
We care about wildlife. We care about landscapes. We care about all the things that are necessary for conservation. We'll tax ourselves 11%.
But if I showed an actual bear, like we posted some pictures of he's taking me bear hunting, actual bears that I've killed. Gee, I've never had anything in my life where people get mad at me more.
We were just talking to Zach Griffith, and Rocky is all in love with the Coos deer. I think they were hurt over.
I just got it
Coos
from him.
hate.
Oh no, he just gave it to me. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you like to glass, spot and stock, I mean, if you like to do that kind of stuff, I mean, that is your animal. There's a lot of deer.
There's deer about like this size down there.
Don't listen to these guys. You just can't.
We like racks.
Oh my
like
gosh,
racks.
dude, you guys killing me. See that?
No, Kevin's got what my dad has too. It's called I exaggerate. It's okay. I mean, you just got to subtract 20-30% from every number they throw out.
That's why I always talk about your second choice because it's critical. They'll look at your first choice. If it's full, then they go directly to your second choice.
All right, here we go.
All
right, folks. Welcome to the Gritty Bowman podcast. We are back here at the Western Hunt Expo, and I'm here with my uncle Kevin Call from High Point Outfitters. We had him on the podcast last week, actually, and we talked about Arizona because the application deadline was coming up, which happened. What was that like?
February 14th.
It was Valentine's.
February 14th, and what's today? The 18th. So 4 days ago. Yep.
4 days ago.
This week.
We want to get the word out that you should be hunting in Arizona if you want to hunt out west. If you want to hunt elk or deer, it's a great place. And we have John Adams, your partner. And you guys run High Point Outfitters out of Arizona, out of Flagstaff primarily. And then we have Ben Sandel.
Flip-flops.
Yeah, man. Flip-flops. We call them flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
Not sandal. Flip-flops.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, man. I'm just here to keep them in line.
And, we didn't get into a lot of – we covered some basics about Arizona. We talked about coming back and circling back maybe at this show. And so here we are to talk a little more about Arizona, get a little deeper into it. Some of the things that we should talk about is, I think, at some point is strategy, like application strategy, depending on what your goal is. For Arizona. And it's cool. Today I had a guy come up, and he said he listened to the podcast, and he absolutely loved it. A couple guys, actually. And he's been hunting he just got into hunting just like last year, and he got a bow, and he's hooked. And he decided once he heard he could get a cow tag really easy in Arizona, he went and applied. And a couple other guys said the same thing. They're like, I don't care if I'm hunting. I don't care if I'm chasing a bull. Like, I don't even want that right now. I have never shot an elk at all or been where they're out there bugling and calling and making noise. I've never experienced it at all. I've just heard about it from the podcast. Some friends told me about it, and I've never hunted around elk. And I just want to be in the woods where there's elk bugling, and I just want to shoot a cow. And I can do that with 0 or 1 point so they all got in, dude.
It's a great experience because there's so many tags in October during the rut, cow tags during the rut. You can archery hunt, you can rifle hunt. There's a lot of cow tag opportunities. In Arizona. So,
and I think we take for granted, us that have been hunting for a while, the how cool it is to hunt a cow elk. If you've never, with a bow and arrow, especially if you haven't done it.
Oh, yeah. I've done it.
One time.
Yeah. John's been there, man. He has experience. No, you're spoiled, dude. You guys don't even count.
One time.
All of my kids, I mean, I wanted them to hunt. When they were 10, they were guaranteed cow tags because they all had bonus points. And I just wanted to have a good experience. I just wanted to be able to have shot opportunities, multiple shot opportunities. I just wanted them just to enjoy the experience, have fun, easy hunt.
Yep.
It's awesome.
That's where it all started for me was cow tags. I had 3 cow tags before I decided to wait for a bull tag.
Yeah.
It was every year. And then it was like, oh, finally I'll wait to draw a tag.
And for a lot of people, more and more every year, it's so much of it's about filling the freezer with good, healthy meat.
Oh, yeah.
You know, especially if you've never eaten elk, you've grown up on whitetail.
Yeah.
You know, met a lot of people back east recently, went to Alabama, hunted whitetail. Those guys are like, they want to get their hands on elk, you know, so this is cool too. So we talked about Coues deer a little bit. I got a few emails about how on the last podcast, you guys just didn't give Coues deer the love they deserve.
Yeah.
So we had to bring our Coues guy to Salt Lake so he could tell you about Coues deer.
This is a good one.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
heck
bad.
yeah, dude.
I knew it was coming. That's the only thing I had to say to you.
We got, are you kidding me? Yes. Like, people were like, what's wrong with these guys? Who doesn't like Coues deer? Only idiots don't like Coues deer, stuff like that.
It's only people that can't kill them that don't like Coues deer.
No, because I've killed one. I killed one.
I've killed one too. I killed my Coues.
I think there are people who like giant antlers and people who appreciate antlers in proportion to the animal's size.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's where I am. I can appreciate a petite animal and a giant rack.
Oh, yeah.
Perspective to the
But we
animal.
did get a pile of emails after that podcast to get a bunch of people put in. So I'm waiting to see if
who might draw?
Arizona. Well, that would be cool too. Obviously, once the results come out, but Arizona's draw results have to be skyrocketing off of numbers.
Well, that's awesome.
I think you increased the people putting in because Kevin takes care of all the emails because I can't.
You don't email any.
I don't
text message
respond
back.
I don't respond back to people. So yeah, Kevin's good at that stuff.
Well, I saw. I have a plan. I shot this nice whitetail in Alabama, and I thought that rack would look really good on a Coues deer.
Oh yeah.
So I'm working on.
Oh my goodness.
You're looking for a cape.
This is between us. But I would like to get a full body mount of a Coues deer and then slap that whitetail rack on it, dude.
That would be huge.
Because people won't appreciate it without the little body.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm with you.
It's all about appreciating those antlers.
Absolutely. I'm with
That's
you.
the funniest thing I've ever heard.
So, no.
They're
It's cool.
the
We were
same.
just talking to Zach Griffith, and, Rocky is all in love with the Coues deer. I think they were hurt over
I
over
just
your
got it
Coues
from him.
hate.
Oh, no, he just gave it to me. Yeah, for sure. Actually, I posted a thing on Instagram about the wall, like building a wall between Arizona and Utah for the shed season. I have gotten more people coming up to me saying that was either really funny or really messed up.
Yeah, you were making fun of Utards.
And then now that I'm here in Utah, they're like, "Are you?
What are you
kidding
doing
me right?
here?
Right. That's what I just.
You're
got
a hateful
from.
Arizonian. Is that how you say it? Arizonian?
Oh yeah, it's the same thing.
Same thing. So tell me about Coues deer options. Like, it's not true that HPO doesn't go for Coues deer.
No, we love Coues deer actually.
Oh my goodness.
Kevin,
Who's
just,
we?
love
Just
Coues
let
deer.
Ben talk.
Just roll.
No.
All right, roll.
Go ahead, Ben.
Roll,
There's a lot of
Let's hear it, flip flops.
So Coues deer, I mean, we're lucky to have a lot of Coues deer in Arizona. There are a lot of leftover tags in Arizona, like Johnny kind of
Javelina
backed on.
tags, whitetail
But,
tags,
I mean,
same thing.
Coues deer is something that I think that if you call yourself dedicated, like world-class hunter, you should pursue a Coues deer once in your life. Arizona provides those opportunities. Obviously, with the bow is a huge challenge. It's one of the most elusive animals I've ever hunted, but I mean, it's possible to get one with the bow.
Yeah.
But you can hunt them in August with a bow, and then there's the leftover tags, and then you can hunt them with the bow in December, January.
So, Ben, tell me why they're awesome to hunt.
It's the challenge. I mean, if you like to glass, spot and stalk, I mean, if you like to do that kind of stuff, I mean, that is your animal. That is a challenge because when you get on those hills and those Coues deer, they're hard to find.
Yeah.
And the terrain, it's not like mule deer terrain. You go hunt mule deer and you glass mule deer, they're out in the middle of the open sage flat, and a coos deer, they're kind of, they're really tucked into spots that are hard to see and in the thick brush. And so it's got they have their own challenge. I mean, I don't hate on, I love mule deer, love coos deer. You can love them both.
If you had a choice, so how hard is it to get a coos rifle tag?
Obviously, that depends, if you do an early hunt or a late hunt, but you could get an early coos tag for just a few points. The late tags are obviously not going to be as hard to get as a mule deer tag, but you can get a late coos tag for, 8 points, 7-8 points.
Still take some points, though.
Yeah, for those late tags, those trophy tags.
They're in the rut hunt.
Yeah,
they're in the rut. In December, rut hunt.
Yep. So, but the early hunts, they're a lot easier to get.
They're leftover in October.
Now, you have some that you can get just every year.
Yeah, so those are mainly the southern units. There's leftover tags down there, and if you're willing to go down there, a lot of people don't like it because it's close to the border, but there's
Mexico.
Yeah, border of Mexico. There's a ton of
is it dangerous?
Ton of deer down there. No, I've never had any problems down there.
We've got some bad stories. For sure.
If
you like glassing up a lot of trash in the ditches, and there's trash.
There's trash everywhere.
I've got a buddy that's hunted it. He cannot leave a camp down there. He can't leave his trailer because the illegals come in. They have to have water. They have to have food. They just tear up your trailer and get into that stuff.
I've never had any problems down there, and I know a lot of people that don't have problems. And there are stories.
We've
had
that's why
trophy
trucks driving past us, like they'll go get them, and then they'll fly past you with like night vision on. We've had helicopters landing in our camp. We've had helicopters landing in our camp.
So it's not for the faint of heart.
So if your type of hunt is seeing illegals and dealing with
but are there some big bucks? That's all I care about.
There's good deer down there.
You have to have
there's
one guy.
There's a lot of deer.
There's deer about like this size down there.
Don't listen to these guys. You just can't.
We like racks.
Oh
we
my
like
gosh,
racks.
dude! You guys killing me. But no, there are good
Can
deer
we move
down
on
there.
to elk? Me and Kevin are just like, oh my gosh! I just saw somebody walk by with food. I see.
Okay. Let's move on to elk.
Okay.
I do want to do a cool coos deer. Archery is pretty easy then. To hunt coos deer.
Oh, you can do it without having to draw anything. Yeah.
You just go by a tag.
Yeah, but killing them is hard.
Tough deal. Tough.
You'll see them.
Dude,
You have opportunities.
Aaron has hunted coos deer a few times. I heard they're jumpy.
Yeah, they're
like a rabbit though. I mean, they get eaten by everything.
I've shot
They're tiny.
mule deer from 25 yards with my bow, and I've shot a coos deer with 25 yards with my bow. And mule deer, I mean, the arrows already through them before they even flinch.
Yeah.
Coos deer almost duck out of the way of that.
That's why Aaron likes 80-yard shots. Like,
can't even see it coming.
Maybe they just, they're not like as wiry.
They're pretty skittish for sure.
It's a little animal though. Okay, so elk, right?
Mm-hmm. Now we're talking.
Yeah. So let's say we talked about this before. Let's say a guy is just getting started and he wants to hunt elk. What's your guys' advice for a guy, like there's strategies you were explaining on how to apply? I don't really know.
The bottom line is this. In Arizona, of course, the application period is already behind. It's behind us. So,
for this year.
Yeah, for this year. Yep. And so, in June is our application for deer and sheep. Mm-hmm. But for elk, you really ought to take a chance at one of the best tags in the state as your first choice, a premium tag. Why not? Everybody has to have an opportunity to chase that tag. But then your second choice, you really need to concentrate on your second choice and decide how bad you want to tag. Because you can draw tags in your second choice.
How does that work? Like, Oregon, you can put a second choice on, but they fill all the first choice tags first.
Right.
And then
a lot of states do that. And so that's why I always talk about your second choice because it's critical. What happens is they'll pull your envelope, pull your name, they'll look at your first choice. If it's full, then they go directly to your second choice. So they look at your first and second choice simultaneously. If your first choice is full, they go to your second choice. Most states look at everybody's first choice before then they look at everybody's second choice. Arizona's not like that. So you really do.
They just do it in order. They pull you out of the hat.
Yep.
Then they look at your first choice, and if that's full, they go, okay. What's his second choice?
Yeah, and in a lot of cases, your third, fourth, and fifth choice, I mean, they don't really mean anything, especially if you're doing trophy hunts.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't put in for third, fourth, or fifth choice in years.
But first and second, because you're saying you might as well, on every time you apply, you might as well pick your dream unit for choice one.
You should.
Like a lot of guys don't really know that.
Right.
Because if you don't get it, it's okay because you're still going to get that second. But if you were the first guy pulled out of the hat for the whole state of Arizona on the draw, and you put some,
mediocre
hunt that you really wanted to hunt,
some cow hunt,
hunt, you apply for that, then that's what you're going to get when you were the guy that could have picked any hunt he wanted.
Yep. It's kind of interesting because when we get clients, I always ask them what tag number they are. It's always and how many points they had. Very interesting to see how people are getting tags. More of our clients got tags in the random draw, so they got part of the 80% of the tags, and not in the 20% echelon because they didn't have points to do it. So it's always interesting to see where people got their tags, when in the draw they got their tags.
Okay, so. Again, you want to apply for the best unit you want, and then the second choice you put in the unit you want to draw for. Now, if you draw that, that's it. You don't get points. You're going to hunt.
You burn your points. There are permanent points like a loyalty point. If you put 5 years in a row, you keep a loyalty point.
Yeah,
as long as you continue to apply, you keep that point. And of course, your
Hunter Ed, you
keep. Those are permanent points. But everything else you burn when you get a tag. Another thing that's unique about Arizona, sometimes in other states, you can actually mix match. You can put in for rifle tags, muzzleloader tags, or archery tags. It doesn't matter. You can mix and match your weapon type in your first two choices. So that's another thing that's unique of Arizona. You can do a rifle hunt first choice, archery second, etc.
Yeah.
And you can mix and match that. And in some states you have to pick your weapon and keep your weapon, but you don't in Arizona.
Okay, move on. Let's talk about deer because the application period for elk and antelope are gone anyway.
Yep.
But you still have a chance to apply for Arizona mule deer. Well, Arizona deer.
Deer and sheep, and it's the second Tuesday in June. If you want, get on our website, highpointoutfitters.net, send me an email, or send me an email at shoot@highpointoutfitters.net, and I will get you on our email list, and I'll tell you when the deadlines are, remind you of the deadlines, that kind of stuff. So
here's the thing that is weird to me, is Arizona just doesn't differentiate between Coues deer and mule deer.
It's deer.
In the application process.
It's deer.
It's deer.
Yeah, it's deer.
Yep.
So if you collect 8 points and you want to burn those on a Coues deer, you can.
Yep.
Or you got to use them on a mule deer. I don't like that.
Most units are any antlered.
So
That's
stupid.
If you find a Coues deer, you pass it up.
I'm going to talk about Arizona.
Not most units.
And
Arizona
mule deer.
Arizona's pretty cool in a lot of ways, but that's stupid. Because
go ahead.
I'll tell you why.
Well,
stupid. Stupid.
Well, the northern units are any antler, but they're actually breaking out. But yeah, it is not. It's not
because here's the thing. I mean,
species.
When you're managing deer,
right,
you're managing populations of the animal, right, and there's a certain tag allotment that you're going to allocate for certain species.
Yeah.
Right? Coues deer are not breeding with mule deer. There's no crossover.
There is actually, but
there is.
What?
Yeah.
What?
There's some hybrids. Yeah.
And sometimes they're hard to identify.
How much of a crossover are we talking? Like,
people are shooting
often.
some giant Coues deer, and you're like, yeah, it's kind of a crossbreed, man. Right there in Flagstaff. Actually, right there where we live, Flagstaff, people are shooting crossbreeds.
Okay, well, I just kind of think, it limits the hunter too, because what if a guy wants to chase Coues deer and he also wants to chase mule deer, right? So he wants to get points, right? He wants to build up, go for a hunt. Arizona's forcing him to choose one or the other.
That's true.
And it seems like at the end of the day, 9 out of 10 guys, if they have to make that choice, are just never going to go for the
That's true. That is true.
And so the Coues deer,
doing some research in Arizona,
Well,
man.
I think the Coues deer are underhunted because, and the mule deer are overhunted because you're forcing all the hunters because they're going to choose mule deer most of the time.
There is a unit 6B that actually forces people to. There's a hunt
To
going
pick
on
them.
at the same exact time as coos deer hunters and mule deer hunters
Yeah.
at the same exact time, but they have to choose. Like there's like a muzzleloader 6B, and they can hunt any antler, and then there's a rifle 6B, and they
deer.
force them to hunt
So
coos
they
deer.
do
So
have some.
you're running into
But if
the
you-
hunters out in the field, and you're like, oh, what tag are you? You know,
Yeah,
and the-
but you can't collect points for just
coos
No,
deer.
coos
No,
deer.
right? I see
Like
what
in
you're
Oregon,
saying.
I can collect points for
whitetail.
blacktail.
Yeah.
For my blacktail hunts where I want to hunt blacktail. And I can collect points for mule deer. They're
Can-
separate hunts.
Can you kill a blacktail and a mule deer in the same year
Yes.
in Oregon?
Yes.
See, and
Oh, in Arizona,
that would be
You can
good
hunt
if you
both.
could do
You can
that.
hunt one of each.
Well, there's a
that's
benefit
cool.
to
Oh.
it though, because if you could put in for each species, the draw, everybody that hunts coos deer will also hunt mule deer, and so being able to choose, it cuts the draw odds down because
Yeah.
you have to choose, and that's a battle that I face because I want to hunt both, so I got to choose. So I'll do one, my first choice mule deer, second choice coos deer,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah, it's frustrating.
definitely frustrating.
It's different doing it here in person.
Okay, so that's one of the things that bothers
good
me
point.
because it actually makes me less likely to hunt coos deer and
Absolutely. If they were two different species in Arizona, I would love to hunt coos and mule deer, and it would certainly put more pressure on our coos deer than they are right now.
Yeah.
Because people are choosing or preferring to hunt mule
Yeah.
deer. But if they were different species in Arizona, then I would absolutely put in coos.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
They're fun.
Be great.
They're a fun animal to hunt.
They
but I
manage-
just don't want to give up my mule
Yeah.
deer points.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
So they manage the blacktail in Oregon on the west side with a certain tag that you can draw in different areas. There's different 600 level tags you can get, and then you can buy an over the counter archery tag, and that's good for western. That's good for blacktail or a mule deer, either one.
Yeah.
But you can draw a mule deer specific. So I can collect points for deer. I can get 10 points for mule deer, and I can get 10 points for blacktail. And then I can cash in and go hunt each one. I'm not forced. Now, if it came down to it and I had to choose, just because of how I am and how Oregon is, I would never hunt mule deer.
You're a blacktail guy.
I just hunt blacktail
Yeah.
over and over and over again. I just collect points for that because I don't want to blow my points on the mule deer. Now, if I knew more about if Oregon was known for mule deer and had better mule deer, I'd chase mule deer. But blacktail hunting is just pretty awesome down there. You
Yeah.
kind of got to go with what your state gives you.
Right.
So what I do, for instance, is when I have a limited amount of points, I'll put in for coos deer until I build up enough points to where I have a chance at mule deer.
Totally.
So
Right.
That's kind of what I do, and then I'll switch it. I'll do first
You'll
choice
get to
mule
a
deer,
point where you're
second
like,
choice mule deer, coos
dude,
deer.
I got 7 points.
Yeah.
I was willing to do a coos deer, but I never drew. We're switching teams. It's mule deer time.
Yeah.
See, flip-flops,
So
that's what
you
we're
guys
talking
agree.
about.
Give me
Flip-flops?
some.
Yeah, that's
Mule
exactly
deer,
what we're talking about.
coos
Mule deer rules.
You just said it
It's
yourself
just-
right there.
Well, I don't want
It's
to
just
burn
harder
8
to draw
points.
those points.
That's
I don't
all.
wanna
That's
burn
all we
8
were
points.
getting. That's all we were getting.
Look.
That's all we were getting at. Thank you.
Hey, this
We
is my
got it.
show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Sorry, this is your show.
Okay.
Go ahead. I forgot about that.
Here's the deal. I agree with you that if I had to choose a bomber mule deer or a bomber coos deer, I would take a mule deer every day of the week.
That's
Yeah.
true,
Thank you.
but you can't bag on the fact that it
But
Okay.
but I still if I had to make that choice. But that's why does it have to be mutually exclusive? Why do I have to pick one or the other?
Yeah,
Why
that's
can't
why
I
you're
have
saying
both?
Arizona
wish-
should split it up.
I
That's
like
why
that.
I'm frustrated with Arizona
wish
because
they'd do it.
they're
Okay.
kind of forcing me to make that choice we just talked about,
Yeah.
where I just go for mule deer instead.
Yeah.
That's why you put in for mule deer and then you come and hunt with with
We
a bow.
actually just met that lady you need
Or-
to talk to.
But even then, that over the count
That lady?
Yeah, there's a lady that you need to talk to. Hold up, I got her business card.
those leftover tags are
Yes.
great because you put in
Amber.
for mule deer, you don't get it. You could buy a coos tag and not
Amber
lose your points.
Munich. Amber Munich.
Well, yeah.
Amber Munich of Arizona Game and Fish Department.
Yes.
She's the one that you need to write a letter to and tell her what you think you need to do.
Huh.
There she
She's
is,
the
right there.
complaint
She's
department.
probably going to love
We
the
just
fact that
met
you
her.
just put her name on the podcast.
We just met her, honestly, an hour ago because she wanted us to give her a positive about how
Yeah.
the non-resident cap went to 5% to the random draw and
Yes.
5% to
Which
the
is awesome.
preference
Yeah.
points, which out-of-staters are super in favor
Yes.
for, unless
And
you're in a
in-staters
pile
have a
of
bunch of
points.
points.
And dude,
then they're not
in-staters
for it.
should be
But
too.
she wanted us
Long-term,
to
that's
give her
way
a
better.
email
Oh, yeah.
for that. But anyways,
Okay, and
email her
that's
about
why I
that
say
complaint.
Arizona is pretty awesome, except for that one Coos deer thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
But we did ask her if you give her a complaint if it hurts your draw odds. And she couldn't
no
keep
comment.
a straight face.
There's no comment.
okay. So, back to the mule deer thing. When is the deadline to apply?
Okay.
I should say
second
deer.
Tuesday. The second Tuesday in June. The second Tuesday in June is the application deadline for sheep and deer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's no question. You know, Arizona Strip's going to give you a monster opportunity. If you were applying first and second choice, how do you apply?
Okay.
How do you apply?
How do I apply?
How does Kevin Call apply?
Yep. This year I'm 12A West late hunt first choice and 12A West early second choice. We like the Kaibab hunts. That's 12A. We stay in Unit 12, 12A, 12B.
Yep.
We like 12B. And there's a bunch of subunits in 12A, 12B, but we like Unit 12. Excellent chances at phenomenal bucks. I think we killed 5 200-inch bucks last year, and in those units, it's they're great tags. 13A, 13B is known as the Strip. Very difficult to draw. And it's a totally different type of a hunt.
They're low-density deer numbers, but giant deer.
Low density. We were talking to the game warden that had the tag, and I won't shoot his name because he went back-to-back on tags. Well, how does a game warden do that? But he went back-to-back on tags.
Dude,
so,
He couldn't keep a straight face either.
Anthony Spencer did the same thing in Oregon.
Yeah.
Just out in Anthony right there.
So I won't
Another
flout-
game and fish guy.
It's awful fishy.
Yeah.
Fish.
Yeah.
Game and fish.
So I won't float his name. But he went 2 years in a row. On one of his hunts, he was out for 6 days, didn't see a buck on the Strip. So that's the type of buck it is, or type of hunt it is. You go to the Kaibab, I don't know how you could hunt a day without seeing a buck. We're seeing, 50 or 60 bucks a day on the late hunt, 20 or 25 bucks a day on the early hunts. On the Kaibab, it's impossible not to see bucks in a day. What are you going to say?
Kevin ain't seeing 50 bucks a day. That ain't happening.
How many does he see?
I mean,
On the
I
late
figure
hunt?
it's at least 10,
you might.
20.
Actually, you might.
On the
Maybe
late hunt,
because
you
you're
could.
spotlighting at night.
Absolutely.
You're allowed
On the
to
late hunt.
spotlight in Arizona
Well,
at night.
Kevin is
locate a
related to
giant.
me, and we are really skilled at everything. So I could see him surpassing you, John.
I can
could
see that. I could see that.
No, Kevin's got what my dad has too. It's called I exaggerate. That's it's okay. I mean, you just got to subtract 20, 30% from every number they throw out.
Yeah.
It's genetic. I do it sometimes. I fight it, but I do it sometimes. Aaron knows. Okay, so
Would
but
you
you're
see him
still. The
stall
point
for a
is,
little
you're
bit?
seeing a lot of mule deer.
Dude, you're
Yes.
a
It's
pile.
They're
A
everywhere.
pile of mule deer.
So that's how it's different. I mean, you compare it to the Strip, it's just different.
Yep.
So, okay, so those are the units you would apply for. Now, what other units would you suggest guys apply for? Let's say a guy just wants to go and hunt, just come out west and hunt a mule deer.
So there's completely different spots. 7 East, my dad shot a stud buck out of there last year, 2 years ago.
Stud, like
180.
Jeez. Okay.
Like it's 7 East, and you can draw that tag every other year.
It's just Unit 7 on the
Unit
deer hunt.
seven.
But
It's just
yeah,
7.
7.
I just
Yep.
gave
You
half
can draw
of
that
unit
every
away.
Yeah, it
year.
is.
Every other year.
Every
probably.
other year.
There's
Oh,
1,000
yeah.
permits in that.
There are
hunt,
gonna be
so
people
there's a
who
lot
hate
of
you.
people. There's a lot of
Gritty
people.
Bowman's blowing it up.
So, but
No one
but
will apply
but
anytime
you take,
soon, like-
you take my wife;
Yeah,
she's got
yeah.
12 points, which she's almost guaranteed a late Kaibab tag, which
Yeah.
you could shoot a 200-inch buck on the late
Right.
Kaibab. But she's crazy, and she wants to do an archery strip tag, like she wants to do an archery 13B tag, which is going to take 11 points to guarantee for that hunt. But I'm greedy, and I have 8. So I'm going to piggyback off of her points, which that's just being
Okay,
a husband.
this is tag
right?
strategy. Explain that.
All right. So Arizona rounds up instead of rounds down. But anyways, we're going in with an even number, so it's going to even out at 10. So we're one away from guaranteed
So
on
what
that
Arizona
tag.
does is combine your tags and divide them by 2.
Yep.
Your points,
Right.
I should say.
However
Average.
many applicants.
So if
are.
it takes 10 points to draw a unit, to guarantee your draw, and you have 5 and your wife has 15, you'd both be guaranteed to draw because they're going to take that, add it together. There's 20 points. You each have 10. You're guaranteed to draw.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah, she's.
So you're going to snake her points,
which is totally legal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I put her in.
Dude, that's what wives are for.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, anyways,
and kids,
but there's
kids, especially that's where Colorado sucks because where they're
lowest,
weak. Right, because they take your points and they say you have 8 and this guy has 4. Now you both have 4.
Yeah. Here's the coolest thing, right?
Dude.
Kevin is a genius when it comes to points, and he doesn't exaggerate. He's actually a genius. We're gonna have to push him out. We're gonna have to push his head out the door. But, anyways, he let me in on a little tip to put in my kids. So now my kids have 7 points. Actually, I have 8 points already, and my oldest is only 8. And you're not even allowed to start applying for points in Game and Fish until you're 10. But there is a little loophole, and we can't tell you about that loophole.
Dude, do I need to edit this out? Because it sounds highly illegal.
Next podcast,
it's not
under
illegal.
investigation.
It's not illegal.
It's not illegal, but it's totally legit. So, anyways, my kids are guaranteed tags by the time that they're ready. They're out of the gate. Like, they're 10 years old. Like, they're going to be hunt bomber tags.
They're 15 or 20. They're going to have it.
If you want your kids to hunt,
I'll tell. Don't say it.
Okay, so I won't say it. But you can get your youth hunters points and effectively get them in the field before they would otherwise.
So here's the thing. I think that it's I don't know how. I mean, basically though, you're getting your kid like 20 points, so you can take half of them, right? How do you feel good about yourself as a father doing?
You're gonna have to flip a coin, right? You're gonna have to flip a coin, and hey, you get antelope, you get mule deer, you get elk, type thing. And the first one up is the first one that gets to decide. And that's kind of how it is. But it is.
I'm your dad, and this is how it goes.
Yeah, the draw strategy thing. I'm telling you, there's 50 million different ways to work the avenues, and that's why. You send Kevin an email, and he spends all day long replying to emails. Don't email me because I can't spell, first off, and emailing people back doesn't happen.
What was your email again?
Shoot at highpointoutfitters.net. Shoot.
Okay.
SHOOT at highpointoutfitters.net.
Okay. So, all right. So, the application for mule deer, okay, we kind of established the units, but what are some other units that because you're saying 7.
7 is a good tag. They offer a lot of points.
You can draw it every other year.
It's easy
every
to
2
draw.
years.
There's also.
But you said your wife shot a $180. Is that abnormal, like completely bizarre, or is that like doable every year?
John knows Unit 7, so
I got 7.
It's abnormal. Okay. It's abnormal.
So it's not normal.
No,
but you can expect a buck? 140?
No, you can't really expect anything like that.
You can expect to fill your tag.
If you
do
it yourself,
you
it's
can
like
expect to fill your tag.
Okay.
But if you come like for a guided hunt, I mean, we're going to be looking for a stomper buck.
Yeah.
But let's get off of Unit 7 because we slammed 7 on the elk hunt, and it's not typically.
So Unit 10 is actually making a comeback on mule deer. We have noticed. Unit 10, hands down, and we didn't even just talk about this during the elk. Unit 10 is hands down the best unit in Arizona right now for elk.
Yeah.
Hands down, without a doubt. The age class for Unit 10 is off the charts. I'm pumped for Unit 10 this year. We had a lot of people with a lot of points put in for Unit 10. We're going to slam the elk again in Unit 10 this year. A lot of bulls that got away. But anyways, mule deer is actually making a comeback in Unit 10. While we were in Unit 10 last year, we actually saw some stomper mule deer. I mean, Kevin was glassing a 180-inch buck, and I'm like, dude, I'm looking at a 180-inch buck over here. And he's like, well, I got a 160 with my buck over here. And I'm like, mine's by himself. So, but I'm telling you, Unit 10 is making a comeback. There's also Unit 9 had a early rifle or a late rifle bull tag in Unit 9 last year.
Yeah.
Late rifle deer tag.
Or late rifle deer tag, sorry. They actually hammered the mule deer. They shot some studs. They shot like a 240 buck out of there last year at a Unit 9 on a December hunt. Arizona rotates units for these trophy tags. They do it for elk. They do it for mule deer. They'll sit there and rotate all the different units. But 6A is an okay. They offer a lot of tags in there. There is good mule deer.
Okay.
6B is good. You can get down in 21. 27 is a stud mule deer and coos deer tag for Ben. They shoot some studs in there. The over-the-counter archery tags are also available in Arizona.
So that's the next question.
August.
Let's talk over-the-counter archery tags. What are the season dates?
Go ahead, Ben.
Go ahead, Ben.
Well, for over-the-counter archery, it's typically the third week in August is when it starts, and it goes till the day before the archery bull hunts, so like mid-September. This year it'll be September 14th is when the last day will be for the archery deer. And then
so
it
is
starts
it like
back
a
up in
3-week
December.
hunt or a 4-week?
It's a 3-week hunt for the first portion of it, and then a portion of the units open back up in December. There is some. They've actually started a draw unit for 11M. It's an archery draw hunt, and that hunt has actually got a lot of bucks in it and is easy to draw. You will burn points on it, but there's more deer in that unit than I would say the surrounding units.
Okay.
So
during velvet.
Just
during
August.
Velvet, yep.
Okay.
So just that first hunt, and then December and January is open. A portion of the units are open in December, and then more units open up in January for the over-the-counter archery hunts.
What's the easiest or what's the best hunt you can get archery mule deer with like less with 2 points or less?
Kaibab. It's hands down.
Can you
12A,
get it with
12B.
2 points?
3 for a non-resident, 2 for a resident.
Absolutely.
12A, 12B. It's a Kaibab 12A, 12B hunt. Hands down, best archery hunt with 2 or 3 points. If again, you have to have 11 to I think 14 non-resident, or maybe even max non-resident to get the 13A, 13B archery hunt.
Yeah.
But the best hunt that you can hunt you can hunt it every couple of years if you have your two permanent.
If you have your loyalty point and your hunter's education point.
12A, 12B. It's combined. It's a combined archery hunt. Fantastic hunt.
Bring some arrows.
Bring some arrows. You'll be
some arrows.
flinging arrows.
Yeah, you'll be flinging arrows on that.
A lot of opportunity.
Kaibab hunt.
There's a lot of opportunity on the Kaibab.
That sounds like a super awesome hunt.
It's a fun hunt.
Super awesome because you just see all the deer volume, the number of bucks you get to see, and you have a chance at a whopper.
Good. There's good numbers of mule deer and good quality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and, I mean, we're killing 200-inch bucks that are there in velvet that you're trying to shoot in velvet, and we're killing them on the late hunt. I mean, they're there during the archery hunt. I mean,
just gotta find them.
The caliber of bucks is there.
You can kill those. You can kill good quality bucks below like the rim, but it is a lot of work. I mean, 6B. I hunt that every year. We put in a lot of work. We, get lucky, but for out-of-staters that want to come, Kaibab is going to be the best option as far as a draw unit. 11M, they could come and they could see a pile of deer. There's very little pressure on that 11M archery hunt. You do have to draw for it. If they don't want to burn points, there is the chance that they could kill a great buck on those just the over-the-counter tags. We get
What's
lucky.
your favorite over-the-counter tag for mule deer?
Can't tell you that.
Ben wouldn't tell you if Ben just posted it.
Like, we were just talking to Dave Loescher, and he said that's like telling your wife's bra size, dude. You just don't do that.
Yeah, you don't. I've actually made that mistake once. Never again.
That's actually the one thing I won't guide is an over-the-counter tag of any kind, really, because some of that can go in there.
You can go in there every year and just once they learn it from you, they're just like there every year.
Hey, man.
Like,
sweet spot.
Yeah. That info is like, I get it. So tell me this. Can you tell me any over-the-counter unit that you just kind of would like recommend?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's 5, 6, 7. We talk 9, 10, 11.
All of those?
Well, I guess I'm just kind of scared saying something because you just said the last time we talked about Arizona and giving some tips away. It was your most downloaded deal.
I really like 6B.
So we did get a lot of downloads on that last episode.
I really like 6B.
Yeah.
6B
so that's
is
why
the
you
unit
got
that
us here.
hunt.
You're really trying to dig in.
I am trying to serve the Gritty Bowman audience.
Okay.
Love, and we got to wrap up. These two guys are scary, and they need to get on. No. Okay, so they can do that.
So there are numerous tags that can apply for.
Okay.
Or not apply for. I'm sorry. That you can just come to Arizona, buy a tag, and get hunting. That's that bottom line.
Yeah.
And there's deer, the quality around Flagstaff in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units
Yeah.
is pretty mixed bag. Not a lot of trophy animals in those
awesome.
units, but you can hunt.
One thing real quick. You're not limited to one particular unit with the over-the-counter tag.
That's right.
Unless it's a draw, you can hunt all those units. So just to clarify that.
Two different times a year.
Yep.
And they can email you guys at shoot@highpointoutfitters.com.
.net. Yep.
.net.
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 Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on the Gritty Bowman podcast. Stay gritty.
Man,
Stay
I can't
gritty.
believe I saw my nephew with a line.
Were you
getting
really signing
signatures on my
autographs?
nephew? Unbelievable, dude.
Tell me, how many
Unbelievable.
autographs did you sign?
There was
Look, people.
a line
people
100 yards long.
They just wanted the free hats.
Can we get
That's
an
it.
autograph?
In 1907, only 41,000 elk remained in North America, and in 1950, only 12,000 pronghorn remained. Today, there are more than 1 million elk and 1.1 million pronghorn. Why? Because hunting is conservation. In 1937, hunters actually requested an 11% tax on guns, ammo, bows, and arrows to help fund conservation. That tax so far raised more than $8 billion for wildlife conservation. Altogether, hunters pay more than $1.6 billion a year for conservation programs. No one gives more. It's obvious that hunters care about animals, and yet we actively hunt and kill them. Many people cannot understand this dichotomy. How can we both care about animals and also kill them? It's a question that I challenge all of you to consider. Here is an excerpt from the Gritty Bowman film, Alberta, with a quote from Fred Bear that describes my feelings on this subject. The first shot on this buck was fatal, and it cleanly pierced his vitals, but he didn't go down. I hate to see animals suffer, and when possible, I will always shoot them again if I have the opportunity. I have tremendous respect for this buck and his will to survive. He didn't go down easy, and I have mixed emotions about that. At times like this, I am reminded of a quote by Fred Bear, which somewhat describes my thoughts on this matter. Quote, I have always tempered my killing with respect for the game pursued. I see the animal not only as a target, but as a living creature with more freedom than I will ever have. I take that life if I can, with regret as well as joy, and with the sure knowledge that nature's way of fang and claw and starvation are a far crueler fate than I bestow. I do not hunt for the joy of killing, but for the joy of living, and the inexpressible pleasure of mingling my life, however briefly, with that of a wild creature that I respect, admire, and value. We can argue as much as we like, but the fact is, hunting is man's oldest and most successful try at life. Every human being is alive today because our ancestors hunted. So it's a relatively new phenomenon for people to regard hunting as a cruel and frivolous activity that has no worth outside of personal gratification for the hunter. The funny thing is, hunting has increased my appreciation for wild animals and wild places, not decreased it. And as I watch society lose its ties to wildlife and conservation, I feel my bond with nature grow ever stronger in direct correlation to my time spent hunting. I understand now more than ever that hunting is the greatest hope for creating the next generation of true conservationists. Never stop sharing your passion for hunting in the outdoors. Our wild animals and wild places depend on it. We thank Kifaru, Mountain Ops, Hoyt, Vortex, Phelps Game Calls, Black Eagle Arrows, and Crispy Boots for supporting the Gritty Bowman. We love these companies and the people behind them. They truly make fantastic products. Please support them however you can. As always, good luck on your hunts and stay gritty.
This is Ty Stubblefield, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowman.
Gritty Bowman.